Hello, dear passenger. This is your captain speaking, and we are about to take off for another episode of Adventurina. Hello. Guess what? It's Adventurina time. So here we are for another episode. Hope you guys had a good week, wherever you are. I am literally packing my bags right now because I'm leaving soon for Niagara Falls. But by the time this episode is going to be released, I will already be there for about a week. Actually, not at Niagara Falls specifically, but the East Coast. Anyway, if you have listened to the previous episodes, you know that dumb bitch loves packing, huh? So don't judge me, or do, doesn't matter. Still love it. But anyway, the situation right now is my carry-on being wide open and tons of freaking clothes laying around, of course. Because that's how it works, at least for women. Oh, I have never worn that dress I bought months ago. Let me take it. I will wear it for sure. No, you won't. You just won't. I will be gone for 2 weeks and I'm only going with a carry-on. Wish me luck. So I need to pack light. And good thing is that where I'm going to is nice and warm, so I don't need to pack any jackets and stuff like that. I bet some of you are like, girl, carry on 2 weeks? Well, I'm going solo and I don't want to take too many things, plus I will be taking multiple flights, buses, ferries, and God knows what other kind of transport, so I don't like dragging my big suitcase that much. I'm excited to go on another solo trip this year because solo trips are just trips for the soul. That's what they are. That's how they should be called, soul trips. They literally heal and recharge and many other things too. And I love the saying, and by the way, I just love how in every episode I say that. I love the saying. I love the saying, if something good happens, travel to celebrate. If something bad happens, travel to forget. If nothing happens, travel to make something happen. I'll take it all three. As we have talked before, I don't really need a reason to go. Of course, if I have to convince someone, I will make up a reason, but I kind of, gave up on convincing. I don't expect anyone to come with me anymore, anywhere, because I just go by myself. If you wait for people to come with you, sometimes you will wait for a long time and you will miss out on experiences and memories. So, F that. Let's talk about solo trips. There is something really special about traveling by yourself. For some people, this is literally unthinkable and extremely weird, I get it. But sometimes these people haven't even tried it. So how can you find something weird if you haven't tried it, right? People often ask me why I go places by myself. Am I afraid? How do I enjoy it? Isn't it sad to not have anyone to share those moments with? I say let's give some answers now and let's discuss why traveling solo and how a trip like this goes. First of all, I want to be clear. To travel by yourself doesn't mean you don't have friends or you're not in a relationship or you're a loser. It just means that you're okay with your own company, and if you have to, you will go by yourself. For some people like me, it means you enjoy traveling with other people, but if they cannot go, you're gonna go without them. And there is nothing wrong with that. With getting older, as much as I hate saying this kind of sentences, because come on, we're not 70 or 80. But anyway, with getting older, you kind of realize that it's harder to make plans with your friends because everyone has their own life right now. Families, kids, normal life stuff. It's not like before you call someone 20 minutes before you go on a road trip and they're down. You go pick them up and that's it. Like year after year, it becomes more and more complicated to arrange trips with a big group of friends. And actually with any kind of group, anything more than 3 people is kind of hard to organize. Work, responsibilities, finances, it's too much to deal with. priorities are different for everyone, and maybe some of your friends, as much as you love them, are not gonna want to spend money on something that you are willing to spend money on. And that's okay. You probably won't be down to spend money on something they really like, but don't just stay home because someone doesn't want to go out, okay? I personally travel solo when I either want to go by myself to, get away for a little bit, or I want to go at a specific time when my travel buddies cannot go. You may say, if they are your travel buddies, why don't you wait for them, bitch? No, just kidding. But, well, some months are a little slower for me, but not for them. And if I have to wait for them to be free, the weather will be different at the destination I want to go to, and I won't get to enjoy it. I won't get to enjoy what my planned destinations have to offer. Some places just, need to be visited in specific months. So here are my reasons to love planning and going on solo trips. Number 1, you don't have to wait for anyone to make a decision. You don't have to wait for anyone to decide if they want to go or not. You don't depend on anyone. I already know where and when I want to go, and I'm going. I buy my ticket and I'm Gucci. Number 2, you don't feel bad about your expenses and if you want to spend a little extra on stuff you like. Usually when you travel with other people, you discuss the budget, and not everyone is down for the exact same things the whole time, which is okay. Most of the time, yes, but maybe there will be something that you find really cool, but your friends don't. Or maybe it's, just the type of experience. Let's say you love skydiving and they're terrified by heights. You get the idea. Number 3, you don't have to remind anyone of the dates, the payments, the bookings, anything. You don't need to wait for anyone on your departure day. You don't have to rush them and get worried about, being late and missing your flight. Because we know how messy it gets when a group of people is trying to get to the airport and it's all chaos with luggage, documents, and other things. You only rely on yourself. Number 4, sometimes you can move to a better seat on the plane if empty, or even talk to the crew, prior to the flight for a free first class upgrade. It's more likely for them to upgrade you when you're by yourself than if you have to accommodate a couple of people or a group. So the more people, the less possible, but still some perks you can take advantage of. Number 5, when traveling solo, I always benefit from different things such as faster sitting in restaurants, which I cannot tell you how many times I have shown up to a huge line waiting to be seated, and the host would just first call the people who are, by themselves just because they only need a chair. And I just arrived at this line. People are kind of like looking at me like I'm a loser because I'm by myself, going to have lunch by myself. And next thing you know, they're sitting me first. So who's the loser now, huh? And not just restaurants. I have been on tours by myself, and out of 40 people, for example, they would call me first to give me a room of my choice because I'm the easiest one. I don't have other groups that I need closer to my room. They don't have to arrange things like that. I also remember when I went to the Grand Canyon 5 years ago, they asked who wanted to do the helicopter tour. Of course, despite being afraid of heights and never having been on a helicopter before, I said, hell yeah. But not only did they book me faster and put me on the next one without waiting, but I also got to be on the front seat, or whatever you call that in a helicopter, because I was the lighter of the 6 people for the helicopter ride, and that matters on a helicopter. So imagine if I was with 2 friends and we all had similar weight. One of us was going to end up at the front, the best seat, and the other 2 were gonna stay at the back with half of the view literally of the same place. And it kind of feels like you're screwing your friends, and it's not even your fault because it's not your decision, but that's how it would be. Another time I was in Seattle and I had a ticket for the Great Wheel, which is a really big Ferris wheel. I was by myself, of course, and I actually got to enjoy the whole gondola by myself. And it usually fits 8 people, so I had the whole thing just for me. Also, many times people would give me discounts or even let me in for free at places just because I'm by myself. I guess they feel sorry for me. I don't know. They maybe have this perception of solo travelers being kind of losers, just the same thing I talked at the beginning, but hey, works for me as long as it's free, right? As long as I get the free stuff. Number 6, no preferences, no compromises, no other wishes than your own. And I love that. I decide what time I'm going to get up. I don't have to beg people to do it with me or to worry about waking them up on time and stuff like that. You want to go outside and walk for a whole day without listening to complaints? Done. You want to go to your hotel earlier because you don't feel like staying up late exploring without, feeling bad of ruining someone's plans? Done. Number 7, you can save money on transport and accommodation even more than usual because you are not looking for a place that all of you and your friends have to like. It's just you. And if you are not picky, you can go anywhere without worrying if your buddies will approve the place. Hostels, as I said in the last episode, are perfect for solo travelers, not just because of the price, but because of the activities and the people you will meet. Some solo travelers travel with the idea of being alone, spending some alone time and enjoying everything on their own, I respect that. Other solo travelers travel with the idea of meeting new people and share moments with them. I am somewhere in the middle. If I go solo, I want to be by myself, but I won't mind hanging out with people that I met and liked. I may not make plans with them during the day, let's say, because, I have my itinerary to follow and complete. But hey, hit me up for later. When you just met someone and you don't really know them, you're not sure if you want to rely on them for being on time and going places. And sometimes you can't even rely on your own friends about that. So yeah, some myths about traveling solo. I already mentioned the first one, that if you travel solo, you don't have friends or you are an introvert. Totally wrong. Some of the solo travelers I know are one of the most social people you ever meet. Another myth is that solo travelers can't enjoy their experience fully because they have no one to share it with. I'm like, what? Like, I completely disagree with that. With or without people with you, wherever you're going and whatever you're going to see, you will. Like, whatever is going to impress you, it will impress you. It is better to have someone with you so you can say, oh wow, damn, that's cool. Yes, it's really nice. It's always fun and makes a great bond to experience those things with family and friends. But the moment shouldn't be less valuable just because it's only you. Think of your destination as something you've been waiting to see, something you've been seeing on TV or in magazines or whatever, and just be happy that you got there and you saw it, right? Who cares if it's by yourself or you share the moment with someone else? In a way, you always share your experience. Everyone sends photos to their loved ones and keep them posted while traveling. For example, I text my family the whole time and I keep them posted even if they have no realistic idea of where I am. I blow their phones up with photos and I even FaceTime them sometimes from the places, and they always joke that, they feel like they travel with me. So better see it by yourself than not see it at all. One important thing that comes with solo traveling is safety. Actually, the most important thing that comes with it. Not that safety is not important when you travel in groups and with friends or family, but you know what I mean. Not having a company is different. You must be very careful and aware of your surroundings all the time. A few things I do when I travel solo to not attract people's looks and to not make it obvious that I'm alone. I first never listen to music on my headphones. I may have my AirPods in my ears, but 90% of the time, nothing is playing. I put them on so I don't really look that much like a tourist, even if, sometimes it's obvious just because you are at the tourist places. But usually when you see someone with their headphones, it kind of means that they know where they are going and they know the place. So they just don't stare at their phones and check the map as regular tourists. Because if you take a look, tourists usually don't wear headphones as they want to, observe and be present in the moment. Well, I only wear them, but I don't listen to anything. I have no idea if that tricks anyone who has bad intentions, or maybe I just called myself out. I have no idea. And imagine next time people come to me and they're like, bitch, we know you're not from here. But anyway, the point is, don't listen to music when walking by yourself in a strange town, especially if it's dark, especially if you're in a weird neighborhood. Be aware of your surroundings. I'm not saying get paranoid, but have all your senses ready to warn you in case something, God forbid, happens. Another thing I do when traveling by myself, or actually I don't do, this is posting pictures at the moment. I usually never post right away on social media. Sometimes I even wait for a few days, especially when I'm traveling. I don't want to waste time uploading. I want to focus on my trip. And I can't actually think of a time when I posted right after I took a photo or video of something. But especially when I'm somewhere solo, I never even post stories at the moment. It's like eating my time first. Second, why would I want people to know where I am when there is no one with me? That's just dangerously stupid to me. I may post a photo from the airport. Actually, I'm correcting myself. That's probably the only time I post at the moment. If I'm at the airport waiting for a flight, because I always go there early, so I have tons of time, and I most likely will post something because it's just too boring and I have nothing to do. The location of your accommodation is really important as well. Of course, you want to be somewhere busy, a main street, or a very hectic neighborhood. The busier, the better most of the time. I don't take chances when traveling by myself. If I feel like something is not okay or I don't like the area, I will call an Uber or Lyft, even for the shortest distance. Better safe than sorry. Transportation after sunset when traveling solo is not something to save money from. Safety always should come first, so if you are ever in a situation where you're like, oh, I'll just walk, even if it's a little sketchy, it's really close, please call a cab and get to your hotel safely. While traveling by myself, I love talking to locals and I love interacting, but never to the point that I would, share where I'm staying, or I would get into a car with strangers and stuff like that. As adventurous as I am, I keep claiming there is adventurous and there is just irresponsible. People usually start talking to me first as they see I'm alone, but I always prefer to talk to elderly people, by the way. First, they know more about the place. Second, there's always something to learn from them. And third, it just feels safer. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I'm not saying an 80-year-old grandpa cannot be a murderer, but you get the point. I also try to put all my actress skills in situations when I find something sketchy. Let's say someone around me is pretty suspicious and I cannot get away immediately, or I'm waiting for public transport, cab, whatever. I usually pretend I'm on the phone, and sometimes I even wave to someone invisible who's far away to see me, trying to make people around me thinking that a friend of mine will be here any moment. And I would even say something like, oh, okay, I think I see you right here. And I would just wave. But yeah, those are one of the few times though when I keep my phone out. If I don't use it for directions or something I need at the moment, I prefer to keep it in my pocket, as, phones are the easiest target nowadays. So of course, everywhere I go, I have a plan and an itinerary for the day. So in the morning before I leave, I just take a screenshot or a photo of my paper itinerary for the day and I put it as my screensaver. This way I don't have to unlock my phone every time I want to check something. I just quickly pull it out, to check what time it is. And I don't have to get distracted and forget about my surroundings by staying on my phone. It's also a great way to save your battery, as you're gonna need it, especially on long days out while exploring, because there is nothing worse than getting lost in a strange city when you're by yourself and your phone is dead. And if we have to add more to the nightmare, make it at night. In general, I like sticking close to groups of people if it's dark outside. I may not know them, but I will try to walk closer so I feel safer that, there is someone around. Wherever you go, just, try to stay around people if possible, and it will be possible when you go to tourist places. I also understand that traveling by yourself comes with a little bit of anxiety sometimes, which is absolutely normal. Some people feel like this before every trip, even if they go with someone else. Those feelings are normal as you're going somewhere you've never been. You just can't help it. You're, a little concerned. And that combined with adrenaline, excitement, thinking of the unknown, it just gets overwhelming sometimes. My way to deal with those feelings is to just focus on the current thing I'm doing. Let's say you're leaving tomorrow and you just can't stop thinking of everything that can go wrong. Being late for your flight, missing the transport to take you to your hotel, getting lost in the new city you're going to, walking through a bad neighborhood by mistake, feeling in danger. All those things are serious, but they are almost never gonna happen together. At least I hope they don't. And I don't know a person who experienced all of them at once, maybe on different trips, but yeah. So when I get overwhelmed by everything that is ahead of me and I'm about to start dealing with, I just break it down. Like, okay, what's first? To get to the airport on time and to go to my gate. So I only focus on that current thing. I'm trying not to think of everything that can go wrong after that. Once I'm at the airport, successfully passing TSA after being yelled at for keeping my electronics in my backpack, I'm at the gate and I'm happy that I overcame the first challenge. After that, my next goal will be to safely get from the airport once I land to my accommodation. So goal number 2. And don't think about the rest of the things for the day. Only focus on the current challenge. And yep, I'm already in my hotel or whatever, and now it's time to go out and start exploring. Every evening after a long day of walking and visiting landmarks, I always stay in bed late and I go through my phone, reliving the moments and feeling happy that the day was successful because it was. And there is this inevitable proud feeling that you did it, You had doubts, you were worried, but hey, you literally made it. And now it's time for another day, and another adventure, another challenge. So do this day by day, and you'll see how by breaking down your challenges, you will start dealing with them easier. You will gain confidence, and next time you will know that you can do it. What's the point of getting worried about things that haven't happened yet? Or maybe things that are not even going to happen, And I know it's easier to say than to do, but trust me, I'm probably one of the biggest overthinkers you're going to meet on this planet, and maybe even on all the planets, but that's another topic. Even with all the risks and challenges, I do claim that solo trips are one of the best ways to reconnect with yourself, deal with stress and problems, clear your mind, and in general, take care of your soul. And that's why I call them soul trips. That's what they are. Trips for your soul, trips that heal your soul. I have a few favorite feelings, my forever favorite feelings. One of them is to step into the airport. Damn, like once I set a foot there, I'm in a good mood, even if, they make me get naked and check every little thing in my luggage. I'm just kidding. Another favorite feeling is hugging a person I love. I prefer hugs than kisses in general, different topic though. Third favorite feeling is hearing the sound of a favorite song at a concert. That's just, concerts. Anyway, fourth favorite feeling is just walking in a strange city, enjoying my surroundings and seeing new things, soaking everything around and smiling for no reason because I feel alive. I literally feel alive. When I get to my destination, there's just this weird thing on my face that says I'm super happy, to the point that some people probably think I'm stoned. I don't know. But yeah, that's the joy that trips bring to us, alone or not. The most important thing is to experience something new and something you are going to remember for the rest of your life. Don't wait for people to travel with you. Don't wait for someone to have time or make money. Go every time you can. Don't miss out on things because you didn't want to go by yourself. Solo trips are always full with unforgettable moments and memorable stories. You will literally have tons of things to share once you're back. And since I said stories, I think it's a story time. And it will be a solo trip one. So I would dare to share the shit that happened to me. Okay, let's see. Fine. Just to warm up for the story, I gotta say one thing that I don't like when traveling by myself is that I have to rely on strangers to take my photos. And, not everyone is good at taking photos, damn it. I have asked hundreds of people to take a photo of me at so many places, and I sometimes have been blown away by the ridiculous result when they hand me my phone back. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not even on the goddamn photo. Like, what the hell? Like, they would crop 90% of my body, or they would only take a picture of me without anything from the iconic place behind me. And I literally tell them most of the time, the view behind me is more important, so try to catch that. Well, some of them get too ambitious and they don't even include me in the photo. I'm like, sure. And it sucks because often someone will ask me to take a photo of them and I will give my best and I will just literally, squat and bend and take different positions. I will put my best skills in use to make their photo nice. And then I hand them my phone and they take an oil painting of me. I'm like, that's not fair. That's literally not fair. So now I have a new strategy. If we both need a photo, you take mine first, and based on what you did for me, I will decide how much effort I will put into yours. How's that? I'm not going to worry too much for your photo if you're just, snapped something like me in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, back to my story. I think I did it again. Oops, I did it again. I stretched my answer. Okay, enough. Back to the story. Jesus. I went to the Grand Canyon 5 years ago on one of those organized trips with pickup from San Francisco. I didn't have a car, and everyone I asked to come with me back then was either working or was not down. And I'm like, okay, would have been fun to have someone, but I'm still going. I think that was actually the trip that made me realize I shouldn't wait for people to do fun stuff and to travel. Back then, I thought that was going to be my last time in the US, so I wanted to take advantage and, see as much as possible during my visit. So when my friends told me they couldn't go, I was a little disappointed, but I wasn't going to miss the Grand Canyon and the other amazing places because of that. So, oh my God. Can I finally tell the freaking story? Yes, so I was on this tour on a bus, and whoever has been on one of those tours knows that they are primarily for Asian people because they accommodate big groups and they take care of the whole itinerary and logistics, so you don't have to worry about anything. With that being said, here's the moment to say that from the whole bus with more than 40 people, I was the only person who was not Asian. And that's fine, it doesn't matter. People were actually super cool and super kind to me. I was actually kind of treated in a special way because I was the loner of the bus, And when I boarded the bus, the driver was literally like, what the hell? He's like, oh my God, we haven't had a person like you on tour for months. I'm like, okay, should I be happy or scared? Was that racist or what? So yeah, I was like, what kind of tour did I book? And at the time, I didn't even have a working cell phone because I was using my iPhone just with the public internet and I was connecting it to the internet at my place. So even if I wanted, I wouldn't be able to tell anyone I was in danger. But a few hours after we headed to Arizona and I saw that these people were not gonna kill me, just kidding, it started to be super fun because every time we would pull over or stop for a restroom break or food, once we were back, everyone would be, where's Eva? Where's Eva? It was just so obvious if I was missing or I was being late, and somehow I became the joke of the bus. And later on, I was, talking to some of the other passengers. And at the time I had my DSLR camera, an Nikon, and For the whole summer, I was carrying tripod with me everywhere because, no one to take pictures of me. But this was too much to bring with me on this Arizona-Utah trip, so I didn't have it. And one of the Asian men noticed that I was struggling taking my photos, and he offered his small tripod. He and his wife, they had two, so they were super happy to give me one of them. And I promised that I was gonna bring it back immediately once we returned to the bus after checking out the Grand Canyon. And yeah, they were super nice, super cool. So I go out, start walking, start enjoying the incredible landmark, snapped some photos, got some selfies, and in a few hours it was time to go back to the bus. So I get inside with the intention to immediately return the tripod as promised, and I was already next to the first row of seats when I take a look, and I literally see 40 people in front of me who look the same. I couldn't recognize the couple that gave me the tripod, and I'm saying this in the sweetest way possible. Like, this is just how it works for other races sometimes. I have Asian friends, and I know from them that white people, for them, look the same. So it was really funny because I was just looking around and I'm like, oh my god, how am I supposed to return this tripod? I don't even know who gave it to me. And most of the people on this bus were like similar age, so it was even harder for me. It was super funny. For a few moments I was looking around completely confused until someone waved at me and I'm like, oh, there you are. So I returned the tripod, I said thank you, and that's it. Now that I think about it, I may have given the tripod to someone completely different, but no, just kidding. I mean, I'm sure they were the right people. They must have been, right? Well, if not, you guys, if you're listening to this, please contact me. I may owe you a tripod. But yeah, with this story that could have been told in a minute instead of 10, I think it's time to wrap up this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you were still wondering if you should go somewhere or not, I hope I convinced you that traveling solo is totally worth it, and there is something really special when it comes to reaching your destination and dealing with all the challenges by yourself. After every solo trip, you feel better and more confident and independent, and the satisfaction of conquering a destination by yourself is just so much bigger. It's just a different kind of vibe. So go plan your next solo adventure, get your tickets, pack your bags, and make some memories. Don't forget to subscribe, leave feedback, comment, ask a question, tell a story, share whatever you want. And thank you for listening. I will see you once I'm back from the East Coast. And until then, bon voyage.